Hey, welcome to another video. So today we're going to be going into the origins of the Hive from Destiny and Destiny 2, but before we begin, please be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, let's jump straight into it. The Hive, originally known as the Krill, are an incredibly ancient species of arthropod-like aliens hailing from the world of Fundament and aligned with the Witness and the Black Fleet. Their entire culture is based around the sword logic, a supernatural philosophy of competitive survivalism, which dictates that they must destroy other civilizations in order to become more powerful and feed the worms that live inside of their bodies. Along with the Witness, they are led by a pantheon of dark gods who derive power and sustenance from the destruction wrought by the Hive. In Sol, they have a significant presence on the moon, where they have built the Hellmouth and the Scarlet Keep, as well as in certain regions of Earth around Saturn, where the massive dreadnought orbits, the icy regions of Mars, and on Titan, where they infest the ruined areas. They also present in certain regions within the reef, such as the Tangled Shore and the Dreaming City. The Hive are an impossibly ancient race born from a pact with the worm gods. Hive structures delve deep into wherever they lay claim to, unheeding of the damage done in the process, crafting linked caverns and Gothic-like columns. These underground spaces resemble a dungeon recently pulled up after an extended period underwater. The Hive are able to manipulate the physical world in ways humanity can only begin to imagine, and have witnessed the darkness consume countless worlds in the past. The Hive are not an enemy military as much as a rising force. They base their entire existence around the extermination of other forms of life, especially those that follow the way of the light and the traveler, and approach their task with a religious fervor. To the Hive, killing and conquest are not merely acts of war, but of worship. By the time of the first Destiny game, they have burrowed deep into the moon, residing there for centuries while going stronger. The Guardian's ghost states that he believes the Hive to be contained on the moon for centuries, but the player first encounters them in Old Russia, underneath the Skywatch, where the Fallen have attempted to seal them away. The Guardians eventually discover that this is just the beginning, and that the Hive have been building an army and intend to invade Earth en masse. Long ago, the Krill crashed their homeworld into Fundament, ostensibly to hide from something unknown. The shards of this homeworld eventually formed a number of continents that floated upon a sea called the Fundament Ocean, within a layer of gas and giant's atmosphere, and the Krill eventually built a meager civilization upon them, and forgot their old history. Cohabiting Fundament with the Krill were hundreds of other intelligent species, and Fundament's 52 moons were inhabited by a spacefaring species called the Ammonites, who were watched over by the Traveler. Life was short and harsh for the Krill. Their natural lifespan rarely exceeded 10 Fundament years, though females who ate mother jelly developed the ability to spawn and live longer. In terms of environmental hazards, Fundament was very inhospitable. The Fundament Ocean was toxic, the skies eternally stormy, the rain poisonous and sometimes corrosive. Lightning had enough power to vaporize anyone it struck. Living clouds called stormjoys would prey on the populace, and the Krill frequently warred with each other. The progenitors of the contemporary Hive were Zero, Sathona, and Arash, the three daughters of the Osmium king, who ruled the continent known as Osmium Court. When the Osmium king was 10 years old, he fell into madness, fearing an event called the Sizgi, where Fundament's 52 moons would align and create a massive tidal wave, the God Wave, which would destroy Fundament's civilization. Teox, a sterile mother who had served as the teacher to the king's daughters, feared the king's daughters were too weak to succeed the king, and invited a rival kingdom, the Helium Drinkers, of the Helium Court to invade the Osmium Court, kill the royal family, and allow Teox to rule the Osmium Court as their regent. The Helium Drinkers invaded and slew the Osmium king, but the three sisters, 2 years old at the time, escaped on a ship and vowed revenge against the Helium king and Teox. After a year of traveling the sea, the sisters salvaged an ancient high-tech ship called the Needle from the Shvuvi maelstrom. Zero wanted to sell it as Kaharn Atoll, a gathering place at Fundament's many species, in order to raise enough money to hire a mercenary army, but Arash wanted to take command of the ship. Sathona sided with Arash, goaded on by a worm that their father had kept. The worm had washed up to the Osmium Court's shores and was seemingly dead, but Sathona could hear it speak to her. Unbeknownst to Sithona, the voice she was hearing was in fact that of the Witness, the paracausal entity who sought to keep the krill away from the traveler. In truth, there was no imminent danger from a god wave, nor this Kizzy that would supposedly cause it. The sisters spent the next 2 years repairing the ship, after which Arash decided to use it to fulfill its intended purpose, to dive into Fundament's core in the hopes of learning a secret that would prevent the mass destruction. As they descended, the sisters encountered a vast creature called the Leviathan, a disciple of the Traveler. The Leviathan warned the sisters against proceeding further, telling them that they faced a choice between the sky and the deep, the light and the darkness, the way of life and the way of death. But the sisters rejected the Leviathan, unable to accept that allowing their people to suffer was the better way, and instead decided to follow the worms Sithona had saved, which urged them to continue diving. Deep within the Fundament Ocean, the sisters encountered the imprisoned worm gods, who drew their power from the darkness itself. Yul, the honest worm, Yer, the keeper of order, Zol, the will of thousands, the ever hunger, and Akka, the worm of secrets. These worm gods claimed that they had lived and grown in Fundament's depths for millions of years, trapped by the Leviathan and the Traveler. They had called so many species to Fundament, hoping one would be tenacious enough to find them. Now they offered Zero, Sithona, and Arash immortality in exchange for allowing themselves to be hosts for the worm's larvae, with the caveat that if the sisters ceased to obey their natures, Zero's desire to test her strength, Sithona's cunning, Arash's curiosity, their worms would consume them. Furthermore, the stronger the sisters became, the greater their worms' appetites would be. The sisters accepted the pact. Zero took the night morph and became Xivu Arath, the god of war. Sithona took the mother morph and became Savathun, the witch queen, and Arash took the king morph and became Arax, the king of the Hive. Over the following years, the siblings returned to their people and spread the worm's larvae among them, recreating the krill as the Hive, and enabling them to liberate the osmium court from the helium drinkers, then drive Teox and the other species of Fundament to Kaharn Atoll, and finally to build the spaceships needed to break free of Fundament. Since they had waged war upon the rest of the universe's inhabitants, having exterminated other races such as the Ammonites, the Akume, the Dakara, the Harmony, the Quigu, and the Tybethi. So what did you guys think about the origins of the Hive? Please let me know in the comments down below. If you haven't already, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Sith Citadel Discord, links in the description. And if you want to help out the channel further, consider becoming a join member for 99 cents or above. It would really help out the channel a lot. And you will get a thank you banner at the beginning of every video and a shout out at the end. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.